Well, aren't we excited? It's time for another look from the James Webb perspective. Welcome back to the Ultimate Gaming Run, the series where I am playing through all of the main games represented by the main roster and as many of the spirits as possible in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, where all it takes to earn the right to progress in the world of light is total dominion over everything our opponent has ever been. If you have never been here before, then hello! We have quite the curated selection of videos for you if you'd like to explore. Or you can have a seat and take a break from your stress and distress as I take you through a friendly little adventure in a game series I truly believe I am still absolutely garbage at. The goal is simple. We are trying to play every mainline Kirby game in an attempt to earn the right to play as everyone's favorite pink-brown boy and use his power to dismantle the abhorrent lies of the false god Galeem. Last time, we played Kirby Superstar Ultra and had a hell of a time trying to complete all the stars on the bulletin board. We went through a lot, and despite it all, came out of the Crucible stronger than ever before. As of the time of writing this script, however, it has been like 3 months, and absolutely all of the gaming skill I developed trying to beat the true arena has decided to leak out of my brain like warm pool water. These games are not that difficult, and I am still struggling, so I hope you will all enjoy when we reach Cuphead, and you get to watch as I channel my inner game journalist and struggle to complete even the simplest tasks. Regardless of future me's plight, right now I am endeavoring to complete the next game in the Kirby lineup, Kirby's Dreamland 3, the final installment in the Dreamland sub-series. We have been bouncing around between this sub-series and the other games released in between, and have so far played on 4 different consoles. The Game Boy featured Dreamland 1 and 2, and I used the Switch to emulate those, then the DS for Superstar, and now the SNES for Dreamland 3. And I actually have decided that it is time to shake up the system a little. Remember all those cool features the Nintendo emulator had? The easy rewinds? Yeah, I had an issue while attempting to record with the Switch again for some reason, and decided I was going to do away with the fancy schmancy Nintendo emulation and instead figure out how to do it myself. So now, that is not an option, and failures or bad gameplay will be much more permanent. This ought to keep things more interesting moving forward, and better still, make the experience even more authentic despite not having the original hardware available to me. So, let's not waste any more of your precious time and get started with our main goal. Kirby's Dreamland 3. It's right away upping the ante for Kirby games. If we take a look at the intro sequence, we see that Dreamland is under a totally new threat. I love the dichotomy that this game series presents us with. If I told you that the main enemies in a video game series were, in order, a greedy king, a being made of the purest nightmares of all of its citizens, an industrial war machine led by a dark knight, and now a planet-sized mass of pure corruption and malice, you'd think I was describing Elden Ring or a damned Warhammer 40k game. But nope, cute pink boy and pretty games. And pretty is a very good way to describe this game. Look at this. What a gorgeous and relaxing vibe. This whole game looks like it was painted by hand, which is rather impressive for a SNES game. I can't think of any other video game I've ever played or seen that looks quite like this one. Past the basic aesthetics, you also have yet another improvement in pixel art and expressiveness. The facial expressions and cute little animations this game has have so much personality, and I love it. So right away, this game has me interested in seeing more. We also have the return of the animal friends. Coo the owl, Kine the sunfish, and Rick the hamster are back in full swing. We even have some new ones. This just opens the door to so many new opportunities. I'll go over the animal friends as they come up, but first, let's get an idea of what we're doing here. To beat Kirby's third Dreamland, technically, all we gotta do is make it to the end of the game and beat the last boss. However, if you recall how this series works, we have a second goal, defeating the secret final boss. In this game, in order to defeat the true final boss, we need to collect all 30 of the heart stars. How do we collect heart stars? Through the power of friendship! Every single level in this game has a unique secret goal you must complete, ranging from finding a thing and giving it to someone, taking a specific animal friend to their loved ones, some mini-games, or some excruciating esoteric bullshit. Once you have completed these goals, you will be able to collect the heart star from the relevant NPC at the end of the level. And once you have all the heart stars in the world, you can fight the boss of that world and cleanse them of the corruption that has befallen Planet Popstar. For the sake of keeping things simple, I am not going to describe all of the heart stars. Y'all can either figure those out or look them up. And full disclosure, I did end up using a guide for them, because truth be told, some of these are ridiculous. Now then, let's talk about the new animal friends. First up, Nago the cat. Nago is a fantastic new addition who I love and who is a very good kitty. Unlike Kine or Rick, who just have augmented jumps, Nago has an amazing triple jump that makes him quite dexterous in the air, more so than Kirby himself, making him very fun to play. I also just adore how whenever you pick Nago, all the copy abilities become some variation of using Kirby like a toy. It's so cute. Whenever you have chosen one of the animal friends from the possible selections, the rest of them will be quite upset that you are a horrible friend and proceed to sulk or cry. Damn, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. You'll all get to hang out with me soon, I promise. Anyway, I quickly ended up discovering that gameplay with the animal friends is a bit different from how it was in Dreamland 2. Not by much, mind you, but for example, none of the animal friends act as a second health bar anymore, which I learned real quick meant I needed to be more careful. Ku actually moves a little less smoothly, and Kine is not objectively worthless. All of them still make the various copy abilities of this game act completely differently, which is an incredible feature because with 6 animal friends and 8 copy abilities, that's 48 different copy abilities. This means that there is absolutely no excuse for me to be dying at any point in this entire game.
Fuck you.
What did you expect? I'm not proud either. It's time to meet animal friend number 5, Choo Choo. And no, she is not a train, she is apparently just a smoocher. Now, I am actually quite disinclined to refer to Choo Choo as an animal because she's more like a symbiote straight out of Marvel. Look at how Kirby seems to be totally chilled out, and tell me this tentacled slime girl isn't affecting his mental state. So it's super cute that we need to beat the game's true final boss through the power of friendship and all that, but this first world has a questionable requirement. We need to take this Eldritch assembly towards this green freak and touch him, which makes him super happy, and he will give us a heart star. What the fuck, game? I just started. Not all of the NPCs are total pervs, though, like this girl who wants her monkey named Goku back, or this clown that lost his juggling blocks. In fact, in the first world, the only heart star that gave me even a little bit of struggle was fulfilling this guy's craving for the touch of a female. And the creepy bastard was just hiding and watching. Once all of these were collected, I proceeded to the first boss, who is Wispy Woods yet again. I am pretty sure that Wispy Woods is the first boss of every single Kirby game that has ever existed or will ever exist, and you do not need to prove me wrong because that would be mean and you'll make me cry. Wispy had a new trick up his sleeve this time though, which was attempting to stab me with his ruse, but he went down Whoa! Oh god! What has dark matter done to you, Wispy? I'm sorry! Despite his rather startling transformation, Wispy was still not a very difficult boss. He put up much more of a fight this time for sure, what with his unholy crawling, but despite his finest efforts, he was felled all the same. I gotta say, I was not expecting that. See what I mean when I say there's some eldritch horror going on here? I'm watching you, Choo Choo, if that's even your real name. Don't think your feminine wiles will get the best of me. Now that the boss has been defeated and we have used the heart stars to cleanse a literal 1/5 of the planet from the influence of dark matter, we can move on to World 2. And it is here where we mark a momentous occasion in the Kirby series. Kine is actually amazing in this game. No, really. Kine might just be my favorite animal friend in this game. What an amazing character development. Let me explain why. In previous Kirby games, you could not jump on enemies to defeat them, because the Kirby games are, believe it or not Mario games, and Kirby does not wear shoes. Oh god! Looking that up was a fucking mistake. Anyway, Kine is built different. This massive fish is so heavy that he can land on enemies and kill them no problem, or slam his immense mass into them from below. And even better, he can actually move on land! Thank goodness for that, because his fast swimming ability is also basically required for all the water levels all over World 2. Assuming that you like playing video games, instead of floating around aimlessly like a spider you're trying to wash down the drain of a bathtub. In fact, to collect the hardest heart star in World 2, Kine is literally the only option you have. In level 2-5, you have to navigate a fast-moving flow of water and collect specific copy abilities to bust down some walls so you can eventually find a secret passageway that contains our last animal friend, Pitch. This cute little bird is so funny to me. He's kinda like Ku in that he flies, but not very well. He's fast as hell like Rick, but slides around like crazy, and he's quite small, so you can actually fit him in some pretty tight spaces. That, and if you obtain the clean ability, you can do this. which is simply delightful. Anyway, all you gotta do from here is bring Pitch to his mama, and she will give a heart star. That marks the hardest heart star in the second world, so after a pretty cool shark boss where you have to redirect the live birth babies or human remains she spits at you, we can move on to the third world. Here in the third world is a major highlight for me. Playing through these levels normally is no problem. They are short, sweet, and a cute little treat. We can simply go beat each gorgeous retreat to arrive at the end with nothing to meet. However, I cheat and with guidance repeat till the mission is done and I finish my feat. I think I got a bit carried away by the rhymes, to be honest. Maybe not though. Please like and subscribe if my sick rhymes made you want more. Regardless, the heart stars are starting to ramp up a little in this desert landscape, and it is here I discover that apparently Miss Chewed Bubblegum over here can stick to the ceiling if you jump against it. How very normal of her. This level required her to arrive at the end to see her friend Molten Sailor Moon or something, and it was not exactly effortless, but it is not by far the hardest level to get the heart star for. No, my friends, far and away the most difficult heart star to obtain in the third world is in this ancient pyramid in 2-6. If you're just looking to beat the level, it is not particularly difficult, and I'll be honest, this is such a cool aesthetic. I mean, look at this! I feel like I entered the Twilight Zone, or Disney Space Mountain while high off LSD. But if you're looking to collect the heart star, you're gonna need Rob. Now, the robotic operating buddy is a real thing if you didn't know. A cute little toy that would connect to the NES and could play some special games designed specifically for it. It's honestly really cute. Getting all the separate pieces of him from the pyramid, much less so. It took me almost an hour to do because there are so many pieces to it. You need Coup and Stone to get past a tight fit, and you need to ensure you are not in fact completely stupid and fall through the floor like 4 times. You need Kine and some ability to jump past this huge gap. I just used Stone for it. I'm pretty sure that's not what you're supposed to do. You need Kine again and Spark to figure out which doors are valid in this pick-a-path bullshit that Nintendo games are apparently full of, and similarly on the other side, where you have to intentionally pick whichever copy ability would make it hardest to break the blocks. Then you climb up to the top of the tower and fetch his head. And if you're trying to go back down and you're currently up to your neck in fat fish fuck over here, you'll simply die of scream. After I finally got it all done, I proceeded to perform a home invasion with child casualties again, and I could finally move on. Cloudy Park, it seems, is absolutely intent on making sure that I hate it. In the original Dreamland and Adventure, its falling dickheads and flying pests kept demolishing me as I attempted to climb the clouds. In Dreamland 2, the rainbow drop was so mind-numbingly convoluted it was like a freaking alternate reality game straight out of the Mandela catalogs, and now I'm getting treated to non-visible floors, snowballs with attitude, not being able to see shit in the clouds, and this fucking level with Rick's hamster girlfriend Pick. Fucking Pick and Rick. This level was stupid. The little pillars you have to stand on are surprisingly hard to jump across without either slipping and falling, or panicking and then slipping and falling. The enemies are spaced just right to nearly always smack into you, and you could risk eating them and still fall. And apparently Rick can just jump on walls, and nobody decided this was information I should have? Whatever, fine. I suppose we can simply move on to the iceberg. And I gotta say, the iceberg was probably my favorite world of the bunch. The level design is actually good in most of these levels, with obstacles more complex than lots of enemies in a room. Is that a fucking Metroid? Welcome to Glacier Dash 2, where the secret goal is to find and kill 6 Metroids, after which Samus Aran from the Metroid series, featuring Metroid from the Metroid series, will give you a heart star. It is honestly really cool to see all of these different Nintendo properties making cameos in their other series. Long before the MCU made literally everything a crossover in Hollywood, Nintendo was making the strides to tell you that the multiverse already existed. Iceberg Stage 5 is my favorite level in the entire game. It's a long level with a lot to get past, and the requirement you bring Nago to his girlfriend even though he doesn't show up in the level itself marks an interesting challenge. Make it through without ever dying, which, you know, you should be doing anyway, but I am striving to earn the world record for most abhorrent gamer of all time, so you already know I had trouble with it. And then came DDD, who once again has gotten his ass possessed. come on, dude. This happens every time. You really gotta keep up your social distancing. Holy shit! You might want to get that checked out. DDD was thankfully not as problematic for me as he had been in the past, despite his flying powers and mouth. And once defeated, I could progress with all the heart stars to the secret final boss of this game. And I gotta say, I was not prepared for it. In Dreamland 2, we saw dark matter had taken over DDD and started as a Bushido-like entity before transmogrifying into an eye in shadow. This time, dark matter starts out attacking you in this orb form. Thankfully, it's easy to take him out before the real final boss appears, that is. Meet Zero, the master of dark matter, creator of the dark matter cloud, and resident giant eyeball. I could go into how difficult the boss was to defeat or how I went about doing so, but instead, I want to take a moment to discuss this. Look at him. The guy's the BMOC of the Eldritch Abominations we've been fighting this entire time. And no, I don't mean big man on campus, I mean big massive cornea. Throughout the fight, Zero is creating little dark matters to fling at you, or bleeding through slits in his eyeball. Oh my god! Like, this is a Kirby game. A Kirby game! I was gushing over the fact that using Spark when you had Nago as your animal friend had him making biscuits until you built up a static charge not 3 minutes ago, and this is in front of me now. What am I supposed to do with this information? Sakurai, buddy, pal, you gotta, we gotta talk here, okay? You and Lovecraft, okay? You wanna tell me if he's been visiting and putting ideas into your head? You mind telling me why the final boss of your game about a small, squishy pink ball of friendship is traveling into a dark dimension to kill a demonic, floating, bleeding eyeball hell-bent on corrupting planet Popstar into an apocalyptic abyss of hellfire and destruction? You took how many Benadryl? Zero is such a bizarre and out-of-place enemy for the Kirby games. Seriously, this feels like it should be rated higher on the ESRB. Can you imagine being little Timmy in the late 1990s when this game came out and being so excited to play this beautiful, cutesy game, collecting animal friends like Big Fat Kitty and Little Birdie, defeating bosses like Big Angry Tree or Painting Boy, dancing after every defeat, making friends along the way, and suddenly you were brought face to face with this naked-ass Eye of Sauron motherfucker? I'm telling ya, games were hardcore back then. Anyway, defeating Zero leads to him popping like a goddamn grape and using his still bleeding fleshy eyeball writhing in agony to ram Kirby in a desperate attempt to kill the hero of Popstar for good. Dear God. Once he has been vanquished for good, the dark cloud over Popstar finally dissipates and the threat has been eliminated for now. Woo boy. So, what did I think of Kirby's third Dreamland? Well, right off the bat, I have obviously been gushing over its visual and boss design for a bit, so that was an incredible highlight. The animations are incredible, the secret goal is generally quite fun to obtain in each level, almost. Looking at you, Pick and Rick. In general, the controls felt rather smooth, and the copy abilities changing with each animal friend was an amazing way to make things feel fresh and exciting. Even though I rarely use Choo Choo or Pitch, I do like them as new allies in the team. And Kine getting the glow-up he deserves is a treat I was not expecting. It's fun to rag on Sunfish, and I definitely threw some smack his way, which I am not sorry for, he absolutely deserved it, but he really took the time to improve himself and made it to the top of my list for the animal friends almost instantly in this game. Proof that bullying works. If I had any negatives, they would be with the level design. There are so many times in this game where I got bored or straight up frustrated. I'm sure it isn't easy to come up with engaging levels every time, but plenty of rooms were basically a hallway with enemies, and that was it. In the Glacier, auto-scrolling sections underwater with a ton of enemies meant you had to move slow so as not to get mugged on the Glacier streets, but you also had to move fast so that Kirby wouldn't die of screen. And 5-2, where you fight the Metroids, has this ridiculous avalanche section that is also chock full of enemies, and the avalanche is faster than the auto-scroll, meaning that you have a sliver of gameplay the size of a fucking smartphone to play on and try to predict where the bad guys are. That's screen crunch, by the way, a constant issue. Running forward does not keep Kirby centered right away. Instead, you gotta go almost 3/4 of the way past that for the game to go, oh yeah, Kirby's moved, I ought to catch up. And if you try to move any slower or stop for any reason, the screen will still lag behind. So you can't see where you are going or what's coming up unless you dash, which is a problem for the aforementioned reasons. Despite these issues, I still had a decent bit of fun with this game. It's not as fun the whole way through as Dreamland 2, but definitely less frustrating than Kirby's Adventure and leagues more refined than Dreamland 1. With how fun the fun sections were and how consistently the screen made it less fun throughout, I'd place Dreamland 3 nicely in C tier. Still fun, but not the Kirby series' best outing. As we continue in our mission to unlock Kirby in the world of light, I am sure that we will find many more opportunities to see just how mighty the hero of Popstar truly is, and I am so excited to be dog shit at all of those games too. But until then, if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button. Slap a subscribe and a bell dingy while you are there. You can always change your mind about how you felt about me later. With all that said, good luck, have fun, make money, my friends, and I shall see you all next time.